shots that was from Dmitry Bivol. Superb finish.
Again, with him, again, not a lackluster performance.
Shout out to Dmitry Bivol for getting a stoppage.
And he sees the opportunity.
First stoppage in 9 fights for Bivol, even though it was a late replacement, a guy nobody knew, and this Mark Zinad. He was game. He came out, you know, kind of aggressive the first couple of rounds. But what was that? 5th round stoppage? I believe that was 6. By Dmitry Bivol. 2 more fights left on this Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn card, headlined by Deontay Wilder and Big Bang Zhang and Filip Hrgovic versus Daniel Dubois. That's next. This was supposed to be Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev, but Artur Beterbiev tore a ligament in his knee. So Bivol has had a history for playing with his food. By the way, this is the guy he fought. We're going to listen to the post-fight interview. They're hoping to reschedule Bivol and Beterbiev by the end of this year. He was 22-0, 16 KOs coming into this fight. Here's the stoppage. Nice little left hook. Busted up his nose. He was on shaky legs, noodle legs then. But this was a big step up for Zinad. He hasn't been able to get any real fights of any note. And remember, he was a late step in here so Bivol can get his payday. And if you don't know, this is a 5-on-5 card where 5 Frank Warren fighters take on 5 Matchroom Eddie Hearn fighters. Eddie Hearn is now 0-3 with Frank Warren having 6 points, 6-0. And Daniel Dubois has to lose to Hrgovic, and Zhang has to lose to Deontay Wilder in order for it to break even for Eddie Hearn. So Austin Ammo Williams was defeated tonight. Ray Ford took his first defeat tonight. Craig Richards took his defeat against Willy Hutchinson, and he is, meaning all 3 of those fighters were homegrown Eddie Hearn fighters that Eddie Hearn promoted since their first fight. So as far as Bivol is concerned, I'm glad that he didn't go out there and play with his food and stink up the joint, because the last 3 fights before this were highly competitive and exciting. The Nick Ball, the Willy Hutchinson Craig Richards fight, they started coming on and trading bombs round 10 and on. Nick Ball and Ray Ford went life and death. And then Ammo Williams, for the good first half of the fight, but the skill and technical prowess of Hamza Shiraz took over, and he stopped Ammo Williams brutally, mind you, in round number 11. So now that we got Bivol getting the stoppage, we got a big fight coming up next with Filip Hrgovic taking on Daniel Dubois. Then the main event, possibly Deontay Wilder's last match against Big Bang Zhang. He's fighting for a contract with Eddie Hearn and to be able to get Anthony Joshua in September. Interesting. But we're going to talk about that in later videos. So there's Bivol with his kid and his WBA and that seductive IBO belt. Eddie Hearn has got to win, but this fight doesn't go toward the scoring. So there's that. So let's take a jump cut. Actually, no, let's go look at the division real quick. By the way, here is Bivol's resume. As you can see, before we go there, this guy's ain't nothing there. As you can see, he ain't fight nobody. Late step in, you know. Bivol needed to stop him. Let's listen in.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 2 minutes, 6 seconds of round number 6. Our referee, Howard Foster, steps in to stop the contest. Therefore, your winner by way of technical knockout and still WBA and IBO light heavyweight champion of the world, Dmitry Bivol.
We've been waiting to see that side of Dmitry Bivol.
Waiting for the post-fight interview. You know, I don't think Canelo ever really wanted the rematch, to be honest. Even if Bivol said he would move them to 168 to fight him. By the way, I would favor Bivol over Beterbiev, but I think Beterbiev does have the power to really hurt and probably drop Bivol for the first time in his career. I know he was rocked by Joe Smith, but I don't think he's ever been dropped, correct?
knockout win in 6 years. 9 fights. You've been waiting to get that next knockout. How'd you feel about that performance?
First of all, thank you everyone who came, who watched this fight. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you Riyadh. Thank you Riyadh season, Turkey Al Sheikh and all government of Saudi Arabia. Thank you so much for loving boxing. Of course, I'm happy that I won, and I won this fight great, I think. My coach are happy, my team are happy. It means me is happy also.
You were preparing for a certain type of fighter in Artur Beterbiev. You take on a guy like Zinad. Was it tough to make adjustments to a different type of fighter?
We're professional boxers. We have to change our tactic any moment, any second, even in the ring. And I have enough time to change my preparation for another fighter, a different fighter than Beterbiev.
I was wondering right before the knockout happened where your power had gone, because when you came into the States, you won 11 of your first 13 fights by knockouts, 9 straight going to a decision. Was this proof that that power is still there?
You know, I believe that my power was every time with me, and I didn't have doubt. Of course, power with me.
I will stand by there, Dmitry, because I believe, Your Excellency, you'd like to say something about the Dmitry Bivol Artur Beterbiev fight.
Okay.
First of all, I am proud of Zinad
Yeah, shout out to Zinad.
and his father,
He came to fight.
and I invite you to come to fight in the kingdom in October or December. You deserve it. You stay until the 6th round against one of the best fighters in the world. You know the kind of Bivol, Artur, Crawford, anyone, they are not human, you know? They are machine. For that, you deserve this fight, and we honor to have Bivol in our kingdom for the 2nd time. And we announce now, come here, because this is important for your father. Come. He's similar to his grandmother, huh? We announce now the undisputed fight, the big fight, Bivol Artur, in the 12th of October in the opening ceremony of Riyadh season, inshallah.
Okay, October the 12th.
Thank you so much. You are one of the best fighter ever, and you deserve this. And you know, we offer for you 4 or 5 fights, big fights. We want to see you against Benavides. We want to see you against Obitaya, against the tough people. And now focus in 12th of October. There is 5 built in the ring, and we hope enjoy it in Saudi Arabia. Thank you.
Okay. So we got a date and also potential opponents, you know. We got to figure out what David Benavides is going to do, you know. I think he's being... Oh, wait, let's listen in.
Title on the line. I know you've been waiting a long time to make that fight happen. How are you feeling about hopefully it finally being here?
I feel great. I feel I need to be in focus. I have to be ready for October 12th. This is what I wanted.
I think everybody wants to see it. Congratulations, Dmitry. Guys, back to you.
So, as I was saying, it's time for Benavides, you know, to become his own man, I'm guessing. He's fighting Alexander Volzdik in a fight he can lose, by the way, on June 15th on the undercard of Tank Davis. And Frank Martin. There are 2 fights on that card that are somewhat meaningful for the last 2 fights that have happened on this card. And it's 5 vs. 5, for example. Also on that June 15th, Tank Davis versus Frank Martin and David Benavides versus Alexander Volzdik card. You have Carlos Adames, full WBC champion. Jamal Charlo has been stripped, taking on Terrell Goucher, and Hamza Shiraz is the mandatory for that. He knocked out Ammo Williams in the fight before Bivol just stopped Zinad. So after this fight, after Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev, which is going to be October the 12th in Saudi Arabia, it's only right for it to either be Joshua Buatsi, you know, and he's had a shot to fight Bivol, by the way, but he didn't. As you can see, he's ranked number 1 by all. Well, 3 of the sanctioned bodies and number 3 by the IBF. You know, he's been bullshitting around. But we know that now Jayo Pataya is in the mix. You know, up at cruiserweight. So Bivol is thinking about a cruiserweight run. And he would do well at cruiserweight, I believe. These are not big cruiserweights. Remember, Gilberto Ramirez started his career at 160, I believe, but he was a long-time 168er. Same thing with Badu Jack and Chris Billam-Smith and Richard Riakporhe, not that big. So neither is Noel McCallion. Those are all guys that would be smaller on the heavyweight end, if you're kind of following me. You know, and I don't think Canelo's ever going to get that. You know, I don't think Canelo wants that Bivol rematch. And clearly, Canelo doesn't want David Benavidez. You know what? Here's a little theory of mine. I think that if Crawford is successful on August the 3rd against Madrimov in a very tough fight, don't be surprised if Canelo finally drops that. If Canelo, as expected, drops that IBF title, William Skull fights for it against probably him or Mbali. Mbali's going to be fighting Derevianchenko. Don't be surprised if Crawford tries to go after that IBF title. Don't be surprised against William Skull. With that being said, thanks for watching. Please subscribe on TstreeT Controversy with 5U360.